Okay, Shalom Rastafari. That first video just ended. We want to come back with this. But I was saying, you know why it was weird, you know, with ISIS this year, how the old, you know, everyone was saying the old regime had to change before we go in there and take them out. But now it just so happened there's a Stargate in Syria, and you know, we made that whole ISIS comparison, them being that fifth trumpet, the scorpions, the locusts. You know, you have that 5-year plan, and I want to go to the scriptures, and I want to come to the scriptures right here, and okay, hold on for a second, Rastafari. Let me get some light. Okay, I'm just going to read from here. Revelations chapter 9, verse 5. We're going to start with, verse 5. And them was not given authority to kill them, but torment them for 5 months. The torment was like torment of a scorpion when it strikes a man. You know, you have ISIS in their whole 5-year plan. And I made a vid earlier of, I think it was Islam, it's a Catholic weapon and everything. And I made that connection there. But one of y'all made some videos that yes, ISIS is those locusts. And here, we're going to continue with verse 6. In those days men will seek death and will not find it. They were sure they would desire to die, and death will flee from them. The shape of locusts were like horses prepared for battle. You hear they say ISIS and the whole World War III conspiracy. Yes, there's some truth to that. On their heads were crowns of something like gold, and their faces were like faces of men. Yes, because they're demons and spirits, but they are men. They had hair like women's hair. Their teeth was like lions. Women's hair. The Arabs, ISIS. So we want to get back into this video.
We're standing at the bottom of the stairway to heaven, So we're standing at the bottom of the stairway to heaven, and we've just been looking around the excavations that everybody did in the 1920s, I think. So fantastic about what's going on. But Jane is back to restart, really.
That's what I have to do, yes. Which is to study Iraq and it's very kindly sponsored a visit here. The idea is to find somewhere to start up new British exploration. The idea is to find somewhere to start up new British exploration. So we found a little place nearby, which was some of the earlier interesting areas that can't get at here.
That's a 7-year project.
We'll hope to annually see the 7 years. We get the batches to our board, the British Institute, and all together with lots of, no particular reason to make lots of money, but so far it's fine and very good.
As NATO members arrive for a 2-day summit in Wales, British Prime Minister David Cameron has announced he's not ruling out military action against Islamic State. In a joint statement with US President Barack Obama, the PM said the two nations would confront the extremist group.
Critics of the war in Iraq speculate the real reason for America's involvement is to secure Iraq's oil supply for future use. But all the oil in the world pales in comparison to unlimited access to advanced alien technology. Whether you loved or hated Bush, we may have all been wrong about the reasons for going to war.
The United States knows that Iraq has weapons of mass destruction. The UK knows that they have weapons of mass destruction. Any country on the face of the earth with an active
You only say those two nations.
knows that Iraq has weapons of
But
mass
it was David
destruction.
Cameron
Which could be
of the
activated
UK,
within
Britain,
45 minutes, including
And-
against his own Shia population. Imagine what the
US.
world would be like with him.
Oh,
in
this
power.
interview is
The idea
classic.
is to try to help change the Middle East. Now, look, part of the reason we went into Iraq was the main reason we went into Iraq at the time was
Yeah,
we thought he had
he put the
weapons of
tail
mass
down.
destruction. It turns out he didn't, but he had the capacity to make weapons of mass destruction. But I also talked about the human suffering in Iraq. And I also talked the need to advance a freedom agenda. And so my answer to your question is that imagine a world in which Saddam Hussein was there, stirring up even more trouble in a part of the world that had so much resentment, so much hatred, that people came and killed 3,000 of our citizens. You know, I've heard this theory about, everything was just fine until we arrived, and kind of stir up the hornets of this theory. And this just doesn't hold water as far as I'm concerned. The terrorists attacked us and killed 3,000 of our citizens before we started the freedom agenda in the Middle East. They were... What did Iraq have to do with what? The attack on the World Trade Center. Nothing, except for it's part of, and nobody's ever suggested this administration that Saddam Hussein ordered the attack. Iraq was the lesson of September 11th is take threats before they fully materialize.
Can you smell
Nobody
the
ever
bullshit?
that the attacks of September 11th
I know these reporters are like, are you really hearing this?
I have suggested, however, that resentment and the lack of hope create the breeding grounds for terrorists who are willing to use suiciders to kill to achieve an objective. I have made that case. And one way to defeat that, defeat resentment.
Today I authorize 2 operations in Iraq. Targeted airstrikes to protect our American personnel, and a humanitarian effort to help save thousands of Iraqi civilians who are trapped on a mountain without food and water.
The UN Security Council has authorized a no-fly zone over Libya. 10 of its 15 members voted in favor. There were no votes against, but China and Russia were among 5 abstentions. The resolution also authorizes all necessary measures. That's code for military action to protect civilians.
Innocent civilians were beaten, imprisoned, and in some cases killed. That's why the United States has worked with our allies and partners to shape a strong international response at the...
This video just in from social media. It reportedly shows the airstrikes, although this has not been confirmed. The Pentagon says the attacks include a mix of fighters, bombers, and Tomahawk missiles. The idea to strike a large, decisive blow, and we're told the operation is intense.
There's stuff in here. It's wonderful. It's very cool. There's just something elemental about it. There's something that you gotta feel like it should always be there. Right? That it comes out of something.
The recent CERNs known around the world, the Large Hadron Collider Particle Accelerator, helped the European Organisation for Nuclear Research detect the Higgs boson. 100 metres underground, inside the LHC, 2 high-energy particles...
Attacks include a mix of fighters, bombers, and Tomahawk missiles. The idea...
By archaeologist Robert Mason of the
Yeah.
Royal
We want to get this part before the video ends. This is in Syria.
in a near lifeless area of desert.
It's
Breaking news
Syria.
right now, the U.S. military begins
This is
airstrikes
where-
against ISIS in Syria.
This is where the other Stargate is. So the whole ISIS thing, yeah,
the strikes are still
the whole
ongoing.
war that's
We
coming to
expect them to
Syria
continue through the
is
morning.
all
The U.S.
about
hitting
the
ISIS
Stargate.
strongholds in Syria.
They're trying to escape Rastafari. Know your
This video
something.
just in from social media. It reportedly
couple
shows the
seconds left.
airstrikes, although this has not been confirmed.
Brother Ross
The Pentagon says the attacks include a mix of